Cold floor under restless feet. No crowd, no noise, no glory call. Just the rhythm of the heartbeat. Tighten the lace, dust and sweat across the floor. Every round begins in silence, every strike demands more. The mirror shows no champion, only someone still in war. Every breath becomes a promise to push harder than before. The bell hasn't rung yet, but the fire already knows. Wake the iron in your bones, let the quiet turn to flame. Every strike rewrites the moment, every round remakes the name. No applause inside these walls, only sweating will remain. Wake the iron in your bones, step inside the storm again. Step inside the storm again. Shadow moving through the dim light, footwork carving lines in air. Every second builds the fight up, piece by piece in silent prayer. No shortcuts in the rhythm, no mercy in the pace. Only pressure, only motion, only hunger in the face. Let the quiet turn to flame. Every strike rewrites the moment, every round remakes the name. No crowd here to remember, no medal for the pain. Only fighters in the darkness, rising stronger from the Footsteps echo on the floor, no one watching,
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, my lovely nerd empire. Oh, I'm so fucking tired. Hello, Digger. I understand all too well. I think I average about 4 to 5 hours of sleep each night. Sorry. Yeah, I would do better on sleep, but I tend to make the dumbass decision to get distracted by TikTok, and then I look at what time it is, and then I have like maybe 3 to 4 hours to sleep. So it's due to my own stupidity. I'm munching on grapes. That's the crinkle of a bag that you hear is a bag full of grapes. I'm so glad you liked my OC. Oh, did you post your OC on my Discord? Oh yeah, I remember seeing this. That was really cool tactical. I like if the fire I see within your rib cage here, if it was also on your skull, you'd be like the Ghost Rider. That was really cool. I like the outfit though. The it makes you look like the like old style mafia gangster, especially with the cigar. It looked really cool. The TT rabbit hole. Yep. I had a video to recommend if you were going to do this stream. But, hey Dakota, how are you? Sure. Just I'd say put it in the reaction recommendations channel in the Discord. The idea was that my friend always say I'm dead after work, and I like the suit, so it went together really well. Hey, it works. The my Discord link should be in the description for those who are wondering on YouTube. It does, I think. Yeah, it looked really cool. I liked it. Oh, and by the way, yeah, for those on YouTube, if you look in the description, the Discord link should be in there. Is it? Wait, is it not in there? It's not there. Well, son of a bitch. I'm going to have to put that in there. Hang on. Let me do this. I'll grab this link. Do that. I'll have to fix that later. I thought it was in there. I'm sorry. There. That's the disc. I posted a Discord link. I do apologize for that, Nick. I'm on a shift but popped up to say hi. Well, I'm happy you can come by and say hi, Nakota. You had to redeem it so early in the stream, Happy. Why? No, we'll get it over with before we get to the reactions. I'm so fucking tired. All right. Well, for those who can't see, who are on YouTube and not on Twitch, Happy has redeemed my era thing, so I have to do the ara thing. Remember, don't touch the roof of your mouth with your tongue. I will do whatever I damn well please, little lady, and you'll like it. Do I need to teach you? That's the thing. Melatonin doesn't work on me. I've tried it before. And no, I do it my way. I do the ara-aras my way. Ara-ra-ra-ra. Ara-ra. Ara-ra. At least wait for Runya. No, we're not waiting for Runya. Streamers hate us. YouTube chat. I don't hate my YouTube chatters. I like all my chatters. I only stream to YouTube and Twitch. If Runya's not here, then well, it sucks to be him. I was making sure I had my voice right and everything for Happy for her ara that she redeemed. I may not be the best at it because it's better with the lady voice than it is a man voice. Excuse me. But I still do it. You are the second person to ever get enough to actually redeem that. Happy. Oh, Jesus Christ. My chair descended on its own. All right. We'll do this and then we'll get to the reactions. All right, just for Happy. I should also put one for a yada yada or whatever that male version one is. I forget what it is. Yeah, but what's the full thing that comes after that? Ada. It sounds horrible when I do it. I don't like my adas. Oh, the Jodo. No. It's like Eco de Ne or something like that. I don't know the full thing. I've seen it from a couple of different animes from anime characters with deeper voices. All right, let's situate myself here Oh yeah, did you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Yare yare uruse doko da. Yada yada uruse doko da. Something like that, I don't know. I don't know. Oh well. You would make an excellent VA for Otome games. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. All right. The first song we have here is by A Wild Iraqi, and I believe I was tagged in this. I can't remember if I was or if I wasn't. But this one is the SCU Anime Opening Season 2, also known as the Skybrowse Cinematic Universe. So this is the anime opening to Season 2 of the SCU. So let's see how A Wild Iraqi has done on this. Oh, that looks really cool. Oh, psychedelic. Yeah, we have Mama Brow with her seal and cross legends. I think this is supposed to be like an armored version of Wild Iraqi. Or maybe not, because it's... I don't know. What's his face? I like that name. Does he have the... Okay. He does have them all here. I don't know if they're in order of when they appear. I think this is Mr. Kivox. X count. Okay, this looks so cool. I think it's the one thing I think is really funny is that no matter what people do with the AI always seems to want to give me bird wings. You know, just give me feathers instead of the wings I have. I don't know why AI refuses to give me my wings, but it decides to give me other people's wings. It gives me bird wings. But yeah, this looks really... I look really cool. I like how it made me look, and I like the little power I have here. Nihilith. Chikage. King Dude. Who's the King Dude? I think it might be Creations by Carolina. Either that or Sir Squintifer. Now there's Dot. Oh, I love this look. It looks really cool. Finally caught you live. Hello, Kinney the Hound. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I like how classy he made Psychro look. He looks really classy. I like it. Ember. She looks pretty good with wings. It's I kind of see it's like they're phoenix wings. Creations by Carolina's Mama Brows. Oh, okay. Well, good evening, Mr. Evan. Good evening. Hello, Vuxlor. The one thing I think is really funny that ever since he got all these VTubers together and all this, what he does with VTubers, it has now become the Skybrow cinematic universe, all because of this. That's because she's an angel, my wholesome streamer. That was really good. I like that. I love how I looked. I mean, look at me. I look really cool. I love the little accessories he's got me as well. Ember is a doll, and I love her fiery temperament. She's passionate, and it's wonderful. The Sky Bros unite. Yeah, this looks... I love how Iraqi made me look. This is so good. This would be... Honestly, this would be a great background. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna... save video frame. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna save this video frame because it looks really cool. I'm very happy with my rendition of Yuzo. So I do have my own music video that Psychro made, but I don't know how to do any of this, so I won't be making my own. I have no idea how to do any of the things that Iraqi, Skybrow, Psychro... I don't know how to do any of that fucking stuff. You look like a Lord Griffin Knight. I am an emperor. I am the emperor of the Nerd Empire. Fallen angel. Yeah, you know what? This could be a fallen angel form. I like that. Good thinking there, Hound. Yeah, this is really good. I like it. Good job, Iraqi. You did a fine job. I love it. All right. We're going to go... We're going to split them up so it's not just a series of AMVs. We're going to go like an AMV video. So we're going to split them up. Yeah, Psycho did an amazing job with your MV. Yeah, I loved it. I still listen to it as well because the music to it is just so fucking good. I might want to learn in the future Kinney. So I'll keep that in mind. So, all right, the next video we have here is by one of my favorite YouTubers. She is also a journalist, and she is one of only 2 Australian YouTubers that I actually subscribe to and watch. And this, hey Griff, good to see you again. Currently making summer sausage with my grandparents. It's nice to see you too, War King. I hope you're having a good time with your grandparents. This is one of only 2 Australian YouTubers that I subscribe to. It's Sydney Watson, and the other one is Isaac Butterfield. I'd love to be able to create this stuff. I would do everyone versus NPC battle. The idea that I have that I would like to turn into an AMV is a lot of us VTubers versus the blue-haired leftist extremist people in like a Mortal Kombat type form for an AMV. I've had that idea for a while, and I would love for somebody to make that. You know, like I would be the overseer, like Shang Tsung, and people on the VTuber side would be facing, you know, retards, you know, like Hassan, Destiny, and other dumbasses, and we'd be beating their ass. Hey, Tex Gremlin, how are you? I need to get more moving emotes. I'm still trying to figure out camera control and the action stuff. Pretty bad. Still, I've been watching so many VTubers since the Skybrows takeover that when a flesh tuber comes on screen, it just doesn't feel right. Just ask your buddy Skybrows. I think that'd be a good idea for Skybrows. I think Leaflet would do a good job with it as well. Thinking I might I don't have much free time right now. All right, to the video here. This is Sydney Watson, and this video is called "This Slur Situation Has Broken the Left." At this point, I think a flying leaf would break the left because they would find it offensive that it's just fluttering on the wind. All right.
I guess we're yelling at disabled people now? I don't know.
Disabled people? Oh, God, what's going on now?
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Before we continue, I just want to quickly note that the 20% off sale on my tea website, Lions Tea Exchange, is ending in a couple days. That discount is automatically applied at checkout, so no code needed, and it applies to my winter flavors that are left over, so my bourbon barrel chai and my apple cider. I have very, very few apple cider left, just to let you all know. It also applies to lemon ginseng as well as my summer flavors, so root beer, mango black, white peach, and strawberry lemonade oolong. If you haven't tried my tea yet, I promise.
I'm not one for tea, but those flavors do sound quite delicious. Problematic and ignoring the struggles of marginalized peoples as it tumbles on an autumn breeze.
It's very good. I work very hard on the flavors. I will link it in the description box. Okay, back to the video. Now, the incident that we are going to cover in this video has, for reasons that I can't quite grasp, really upset me. And while I do make a point of always trying to be, you know, fairly balanced despite the fact that it's pretty clear where I stand politically, I do try to be understanding of people's perspectives. This is the one issue where I'm like, the other side of the aisle here is being silly. And I just don't feel particularly understanding of them. Not this time. With that being said, I am sure that many of you, if not most of you, are aware of the fact that there is a condition called Tourette's, a syndrome called Tourette's, that is incurable, lifelong, and presents itself as a series of tics. These tics can be physical or vocal or both, and for a lot of outsiders who are observing somebody with Tourette syndrome, sometimes these tics can be quite funny, but for the actual sufferer, I would say that they are embarrassing, they're painful, and sometimes they can be very unfortunate.
I know there's one content creator or streamer that actually, I think she's gotten quite famous because of her tics. And I don't know if she still streams or does content creation, but she's a great example of what tics actually, or what Tourette's actually is. It's an involuntary habit that a person has that they have no control over whatsoever. Like she said, be it verbal or physical. But the one thing that I don't like about it is the people who obviously don't have Tourette's that fake the Tourette's just to get attention, which diminishes the actual problem that the people who actually have it have. It's like you're pretty much going up to these people's faces and just insulting them, saying that what you're going through is stupid and doesn't matter. Hello, everyone. Hi, Kuda. Hope you're doing well. I also try to understand the other side of the political aisle, but unfortunately, I have a functional brain and have no idea why they think the way they do. Trying to understand the other side of the aisle is like banging your head against a brick wall, hoping that you'll become dumb enough to be able to understand them. And even then, you still can't understand them because even they don't understand themselves. All the quirky things are fun, but then ignoring the cons to those disabilities. Yeah, it's just... I think, going along cracking jokes with them is fine because, it's joking along with them. It's when you start taking it a bit too far and it's starting to be, and you're doing it to insult them. I don't have Tourette's, but I do have turrets. Yeah, see, like that. Jokes like that. That's funny. Even people with Tourette's would find that funny.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
What I just bleeped out, because YouTube is a hypersensitive silly goose, was a moment at the recent 2026 BAFTAs where filmmaker John Davidson shouted the N-word while Delroy Lindo, what a name, and Michael B. Jordan were presenting the first award of the night. I don't know what...
I recognize him from a couple of movies. I just can't remember what movies I recognize him from.
I am struggling to speak today.
Yep, their arguments fall apart as soon as they don't have a vomited response ready. Brain stops braining and they lose it. See, when they don't have an actual reasonable logical response, which is pretty much 99.99% of the time they don't have one, the first thing they do is go after the person's looks or something to degrade them because they have no other actual way of coming up with something that sounds intelligent.
BAFTAs, just by the way, are a British award show for film and television. Yes, the Brits have one of these too. Actually, so does Australia now that I'm thinking about it, except that I'm pretty sure that ours are called the Logies, which sounds honestly like a disease. I don't know. Very...
There are some days where I really try to see their point of view, and I just can't, since when is being against terrorists and illegals political? When did that stop just being an American stance? I don't know, Nick. I have no idea.
On brand. Anyway, John Davidson is the focus of a recent film called I Swear, which is a biographical story of Davidson's experience living with Tourette syndrome, in his journey in learning to accept himself and bring awareness to the condition. But the film also seems to highlight what happens when people stop judging and start trying to understand and actually be of assistance. Given the nature of the whole thing, the film seems to have been extremely well received across the board, with Access Media writing glowing reviews for it. The lead actor of the film even won a BAFTA for his performance. Davidson was of course invited to the event due to his film being up for multiple awards and nominations. And so, against this backdrop, I think this is partially why I am so incensed by this recent controversy. Despite all the praise heaped on this movie and the faux understanding and acceptance of...
I actually kind of like when people go out of their way to make a movie about something to bring more attention to that, so people who have this problem can get the help they need, or people can start to understand the problem that they're going through more. So, they can get more support. People can be more understanding, stuff like that. But it also has to be done right. I'm impressed the left seems to be a hive mind and know exactly what to hate and when all at the same time. It really is download into their heads. Also, the person you were thinking of is Sweet Anita. Sweet Anita. She has Tourette's. Yeah, I was thinking of her.
Of what Tourette syndrome actually is, society's chronic virtue signalers all turned on Davidson the moment that specific word left his mouth during the broadcast. And I don't know if you guys hear it in the clip, but he says other things too, like, female dog, if you know what I mean. This includes Jamie Foxx, who wrote that the outburst was unacceptable and that Davidson meant that, S-H-I-T. I'm sorry that I can't swear.
The thing is, that director dude or whatever, is he known to be medically diagnosed with Tourette's, or is he one of those idiots that fakes it so he can say shit just to get away with it? That's the thing. I don't know anything about this person, so I can't really comment on it, but that's the question. You have to wonder if he's actually diagnosed with it and has Tourette's, or if he's just doing it so he can blame it on that, so he can get away with saying shit that he wants to say. I think most of the movies intending to bring attention is nothing more than fake virtue signaling and over-exaggerations for brownie points. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of them that actually do that, because they virtue signaling thing, and then there's also the victim blaming or victimhood and.
Guys, super articulate as always, Jamie Foxx. It didn't matter that he'd said a big no-no word because of his condition. It didn't matter that he had made an entire film trying to explain this condition, and that's why he was there in the first place. All that mattered is N-word. A comment that I saw on Critical Drinker's video actually put this really well. The demand for racism is so high that they have to exploit disabled people to get it. And yeah, I think that about sums it up. Following the no-no word, to placate the feelings of elitist millionaires and their supposed racial sensitivities, the BAFTAs released a statement saying, "At the BAFTA Film Awards last night, our guests heard very offensive language that carries incomparable trauma and pain for so many. We want to acknowledge the harm this has caused, address what happened, and apologize to all. We take full responsibility for pushing."
He is diagnosed. Okay, all right. That's the reason why I asked, because I don't know anything about the guy. So if he is diagnosed, then, I mean, what do they expect? It's not like he's purposely going out of his way to say these words. Now, I'm saying that because I'm also pretty ignorant of Tourette's. All I know is they have no real control over what they say or do with the tics that they have because of Tourette's.
Our guests in a very difficult position, and we apologize to all. We will learn from this and keep inclusion at the core of all we do, maintaining our belief in film and storytelling as a critical conduit for compassion and empathy. I do think it's worth noting that John Davidson screamed out a bunch of other stuff during this event as well, and it wasn't just this specific word, and he eventually removed himself, I guess, from the event hall, the event area, so that he wouldn't be disruptive any longer. So it's a little annoying that people are misrepresenting this situation as him screaming slurs at two random black men. I mean, really, if you're gonna shout slurs at anyone, it should be data brokers. Which is why today's video is sponsored by Incogni. Hi. Where did you come from? Oh, you know, around. No, seriously, how did you get in here? How didn't I get in? What does that mean?
Just mute on the... ad. It's later side of the way as these people rip one another apart. They turn on each other at the drop of a hat when they don't follow the scene correctly, or they don't say the word or the right word. He said a gamer word. Victims by choice are the dumbest people I have met. Yeah, it's why choose to be a victim? Like, you just sound retarded. I never got the thing with people wanting to be a victim. Movies like Forrest Gump, where it wasn't a virtue signal, is when you get good storytelling. But now they make movies for sole purpose of virtue signal and spread their doctrine. I loved Forrest Gump. That was such a good movie. Depends on the level of Tourette's. Some just have tics. Some grab words they have heard in place of what they want to say, not their own volition. It's an inhibitory response, i.e. not in control, just like the lower form tics. Yeah, like I have a certain tic as well, but that's from one I developed when I was taking Ritalin as a kid. I never understand people wanting to be victims. They just don't have any actual hardships in their lives. No, but they have to create hardships so they can have sympathy from people.
Sydney. And don't forget to use code Sydney to get 60% off an annual plan. So I have two primary sets of feelings about this situation, and the first, of course, is anger, because I feel very bad for John Davidson, and I think that Tourette's sounds like an absolutely horrific condition to have. And in Davidson's case, it is one that has obviously resulted in a lot of traumatic life experiences. Tourette's is also exacerbated by anxiety, and for Davidson, I expect he was very nervous being at this event, and it probably made his ticking worse, which led to, you know, the situation that unfolded. And it genuinely makes me incredibly mad that he's being attacked for this. And the secondary feeling that I have here,
it really does suck that he's being attacked for something that he's been medically diagnosed to have and has no control over. It's like, you people understand that he has literally no control over over the words that he blurts out involuntarily. And you're mad at him because he's saying these things involuntarily that he has no control over whatsoever. Why? Just why? It makes no sense. Green grapes, Nick. Yeah, basically they only care about disabilities when it can benefit their cause. If it can't benefit their cause, then it disrupts the natural order that they'd like to have, or whatever. They fucking blow it up. I find it weird that people with Tourette's can sing perfectly without tics. I don't know. It's the same thing with people with accents. It's like the accent just disappears when they sing. I don't know how it works myself. It is quite fascinating that it does happen, though. Like the accent, the tics, like certain things when the person is singing, it'll just vanish. I don't know if it's something that's happening with the brain chemistry, but it is quite fascinating how the mind works when that happens. The more nervous they are, the more they cannot control it. Yeah. Also, people who stutter can sing fine. Yeah, like Scatman John. He had a severe case of stuttering, but he also used that to his advantage in saying scat. Yeah, it's fascinating how the mind works when people do certain things, and doing that certain thing will make the other thing disappear while they're doing that certain thing. But as soon as they stop doing that certain thing, the other thing comes back. It's fascinating and weird how that works. For Tourette's, all emotions are triggering: happy, sad, stressed, etc., etc. Any emotion is overstimulating for someone with this illness. Ozzy Osbourne is a prime example of that. The focus trigger limits the outbursts. Huh. Honestly, I think they don't care. If it wasn't Tourette's, it would be it would be one of 1,000 reasons they excuse me, imagine just to tear him down. People simply hate others and search for a reason to justify it. It's amazing how much hate we people have, because hate is not an emotion that we initially have. Hate is more of something that is taught. So it's weird. It's sad that people are being taught to hate things. James Earl Jones was a stutterer. I didn't know that. Huh. I think it has to do with how singing affects the throat. You're training muscles and opening your airways to allow better control. That is particularly important when it comes to carry notes. Stuttering is the mildest form of Tourette's. Although not labeled Tourette's, it's still caused by the same primary brain function. Huh. Interesting. The human body, the mind, we are fascinating creatures. It's like bashing your elbow, so cutting off your leg to forget about the elbow pain. But no, you have no leg. Sorry, extreme example. It's like causing one pain to forget about the other pain. I get what you're getting at. What's his face? But yeah, it's causing one pain to forget about the other. It's same basic concept, I guess. Is this the same as being being offended by a paralyzed man not taking the stairs? What is this? It's involuntary.
Is amusement, because I will never not find it funny that Hollywood types present themselves as full of empathy and compassion for others, but as soon as the opportunity presents itself for them to be the victims in a situation, all that empathy gets thrown into the sea. I mean, they're literally celebrating a film Hollywood made about the struggle of living with Tourette's, and then
I do wonder if weed has an effect on Tourette's like it does on Parkinson's. I think that depends on the severity of the Tourette's. I do think the the stuff within weed can help, but again, I think it depends on the severity of the Tourette's. And it works just as well as trying to clean glass with a hammer.
Hollywood becomes intolerant of the real-life people with the real-life disability featured in said film. You can't make this up. What also gets me is that, according to the BAFTAs, they actually warned everybody about the fact that they will likely hear offensive language from Davidson before the show even started. They also warned them after, explaining that this
Well, I know him.
is an involuntary condition and a disability.
Tourette's syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language.
I have never heard his regular speaking voice. I didn't know he had an accent. I honestly did not know he had an accent. I've never heard him talk normally. I've only ever heard him in movies. I didn't know he had an accent. That's fascinating to me.
We apologise if you were offended.
But like the spice out of Arrakis, that's a June joke, or Dune joke if you're American, June if you're Australian, and apparently we pronounce that weird, and I didn't know that was a thing. The outrage must flow out of Hollywood because too many people over there are dependent on it for life.
I originally knew him from Spy Kids. That's where I knew him from. Sorry, another fun fact. Epilepsy is also as a part of the same cognitive function that Tourette's is. And CBD does indeed help epilepsy, so it could have the same effect. Oh.
Among the groups who took offense were, of course, the internet's perpetually outraged, who do not care about nuance or even what happened.
It's Black American culture to never let the hard R slide. Don't try and defend it, just apologize and move on. Look, if the person says the N-word with the hard R through Tourette's, like, and they legitimately have been medically diagnosed to have Tourette's, so they cannot help but say it, and they have no control over it, then yeah, I'm going to forgive that. No matter what, because it's fucking Tourette's. I personally don't like racial words. The N-word is the one word I dislike the most and don't really like it being said anywhere around me. But I'm not going to blame the guy for saying the word. Live was fun, so we'll pop back in again. It was nice seeing you here. What's his face? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah, it's like I'm not going to blame the guy. I'm not going to be mad at him or anything because, you know, like you guys said, he's been medically diagnosed to have Tourette's. So it's just, I'm not going to get mad at him. Now, if it was somebody going out of their way to say the word because they don't like black people or they were trying to be offensive, then yeah, I'd probably be upset with the guy, with that person. But the guy with the Tourette's, I'm not going to be angry with him. He has no control over saying it.
Happens when you have Tourette's. They see an opportunity to be offended and or to virtue signal, and they are running with it like a dog with your favorite pair of dress shoes. Murphy, I am looking at you, little man.
Black Americans are never letting a white person saying
Attack the illness, not the person. Yeah, it's just, I actually suffer from seizures. I have to be careful with what I watch. I'd be willing to try CBD for that. Yeah, I think marijuana actually does help with seizures as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor.
the hard R slide. We're never letting it slide. I don't care if you got a disability. I don't care if it's a 2-year-old walking around saying it. I don't care.
Oh, fuck. If it was a 2-year-old that said it, I'd probably laugh my fucking ass off because it's a 2-year-old. What are you going to do? Blame the poor guy? Or blame the little dude? Or dudette? I mean, it's like a 2-year-old. If it says the word, it's not the 2-year-old's fault. It's the person's fault for saying it around the 2-year-old. I'm going to blame the parent or the adult around the 2-year-old for him saying it. Because your dumbass is the one that taught him the word.
If it's your parakeet.
Of course, this bitch doesn't care. She has to be offended and scream she's a victim. These people never learn.
Repeating it. We're never letting it slide. That's what you don't understand about us.
The comments on this specific video are actually like complete.
It wakes up ancestral anger. There will be no further explanation. Let us reintroduce ourselves. We are that girl. He has to... What is wrong with these people? I must focus on my eternal victimhood. Okay, I apologize. I'm filled with random facts, but I'm definitely... Consult your doctor to see if you feel sick. You know, hey, random facts are great. It's great to be filled with random facts there, Kuda. Some of these random facts could really help people.
Insane. It wakes up ancestral rage. There will be no further explanation. So the word that wakes up ancestral rage is the one that you presumably call each other all the time, that you put in basically every rap song and fought to have on national...
Never letting it slide? What are you going to do to a 2-year-old? Is she implying violence against a child? Apparently. Yeah.
Television? Right.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
I love how black people coming behind this situation. A lot of us are no longer tolerating the disrespect, the abuse, and the excuses that come behind this shit. What you will notice is that black people always have to be the bigger person. We always have to be understanding. We always gotta have nuance to things. No, fuck that.
It's times like these I wish I drank alcohol, because this would be...
I am Super Blast. Thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the Nerd Empire. She would beat the child. If you have ever been on World Star Hip Hop, you would hate these people. I don't know if I've ever heard of that, Happy. Just don't ask me about it. Jesus Christ. Well, now that I think about it, they don't mind murdering their baby. You. Wow. It's just these people, these are the type of people I label as snowflakes, because they were told in advance. And these people can go and find out as well. The guy has fucking Tourette's. He has no control over the shit that he spouts out. Again, it is involuntary. You cannot blame him for saying the N-word that has the hard R. He has no control over it. He's not saying it because he wants to say it. He's not saying it because he wants to be mean or hateful or disrespectful. He probably felt really bad for saying it. Sorry, I subbed with my wrong account. I am Super. Well, Blastbox AI Music, thank you very much for the sub. No. You're fine, Nick. I just didn't expect that. Hey, Runya. Don't visit. It'll make you pessimistic. And my daughter ruined dolphins for me. Oh, God. I noticed on Depth Stream you started streaming. Hope you're having a good day, Blastbox.
a lot more palatable if I wasn't sober. Obviously, there are too many people and their responses to go over, but somebody who has had, honestly, probably the worst takes of all is a YouTuber and I guess film critic called Grace Randolph. She, like many of her ilk, went to the internet.
I'm actually kind of surprised it's not more white people being offended, because it seems that my race seems to be offended. The majority of my race seems to be offended on the behalf of everybody fucking else, which I find fucking weird. It's like, you know, if the thing isn't offensive to like the vast majority of the thing it's being said about, it's not fucking offensive. Just because you find something offensive doesn't mean it's offensive.
To voice her outrage, saying that what Davidson said is reprehensible and
We're getting my next video and
deeply
taking a break.
hurtful, and that the word should be struck down, and that it's awful that Davidson
It's not white
has
people.
not apologized.
It's not white people. It's just liberal white women. Yeah, pretty much. You're right there, Nick.
This display of ignorance and honestly a little bit of self-importance here from both Jamie Foxx and Randolph and really anybody who's weighing in about this situation is so frustrating for me to observe. And the virtue signaling, not just in this case, but generally, is definitely one of those things where you can hate both the player and the game. And of course, like any good modern virtue signal, the people doing the virtue signaling in this case are massive hypocrites. Jamie Foxx is no stranger to the word, as he's had it said to his face in many movies, many times, including by white people. Django Unchained is riddled with white people dropping the term.
I heard that Samuel L. Jackson had to talk to what's his name? The guy from Titanic, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. Samuel L. Jackson had to talk to Leonardo DiCaprio because Leonardo felt so uncomfortable and really did not want to say the N-word in this movie. So Samuel had to come up and tell him that it's okay, and he basically said, just say the word, motherfucker. He basically just told him, just say the fucking word. So he got the okay by Samuel L. Jackson.
If Jamie Foxx was actually offended by this, you'd think that his head would pop off. But I guess when you're a white guy writing a white guy saying it to a black guy and everyone is getting paid, then it's fine. Some of the black Americans I highlighted here also make me laugh because it's pretty well understood that this word is insanely normalized in
Samuel L. Jackson owns the motherfucker.
the community. Donald Glover actually did a whole bit about this, and he said that black Americans say the N-word for everything and everyone. And this acceptance and allowance of the term even seems to go for people like Randolph as well, who said there are no circumstances in which this word or any word like it should be said, and yet she gave a glowing review of Django Unchained and how useful the word is.
Understand what a slippery slope is to allow this word under any circumstances. There are no circumstances under which this word or any...
Chris Rock did a good breakdown of the N-word. That there are two types of black people. You have the normal, everyday dudes, and then you have those who actually deserve the labeling. That bitch, like, so Jesus Christ, Happy. What the hell? If that's not the biggest N-word pass you can get, then I don't know what is. If I don't look, even if I got the N-word pass from Samuel L. Jackson, or even his name is escaping right now. I'm not good with actors' names. He played. Morgan Freeman. If I got it from either Samuel L. Jackson or Morgan Freeman, I probably still wouldn't be comfortable saying it just because of who I am. I don't care if they gave me the N-word pass. I probably still wouldn't say it.
word like it can be said. It's still a wonderful film. It's one of my favorite films of the year. I would recommend anyone go see it. It's very funny, and I really appreciate the way it's so starkly...
She looks like somebody who does OnlyFans, but fails at it.
deals with the issue of slavery.
Now, naturally too, with relation to her current comments, when everybody called her out for her shallowness about Tourette's, Grace Randolph doubled down, and as a good virtue signaler naturally does, made it about her and the absolute clowning she received for her stupid take.
I feel like there would be bad actors. I just feel it's an extremely bad situation. And I worry, as a woman, not only in solidarity with other groups, but for women as well, that what kind of language does this let in? You know, I was tweeting about it earlier today, and people said some of the most disgusting stuff about me. I mean, they were just looking at it an excuse to say something bad about me. And this, unfortunately, Mr. Davidson needs to realize that he created the opportunity for that.
Noticing a pattern here? These people who often present themselves as moral arbiters in a way, telling people what they can and cannot say, often pair...
I'm just going to let that one sit there, Happy, because otherwise it's going to show up on my stream here, and it's going to show up later and when I edit the video. So I'm just going to leave that one there.
And this weird version of morality.
I was given a pass from my brother. I still probably won't say it because I love my brother. He don't even use it. Why are they so mad? As a proud cracker, I would be upset if they used my word. Yeah. I mean, Happy, I can see what it says. I'm just not going to hit allow or deny. I'm just going to leave it. Just going to let it sit there. I don't know what you're explaining, though.
Was self-victimization. Fox's fees were hurt because the word hit his ear without a paycheck behind it, and Randolph is hurt because people called her out for not only her ignorance, but for doing the typical leftist white woman thing of making another group's issue her own. She quite literally did the meme. Now, because I have multiple functioning brain cells and a working frontal lobe, I can definitely see how slurs are in fact offensive and upsetting for some people. And while there are some some things that I personally don't like to hear,
Oh.
like being called a cisgender woman or a cis woman. I hate the word cis. What are we doing?
I really hate it. I think it. I don't. It's not that I hate it. I think it's really, really stupid when people add the word cis in front of male or female. But cis male, cis female. It's like, are you that retarded that you have to add the word cis in front of it? It's just male or female. Why are you adding cis in front of it? It's just da fuck. Bedroom antics probably got out of control. It's just, if I remember correctly, the word cis was originally created for the transgender people. Cis, so like normal, default, pretty much. Yeah, happy. My ex liked that, and I obliged. So we just call it raccoon eyes here.
Having a meltdown about being called that has never really made sense to me. But you do you, I guess. But in this case, I think the response has been so out of proportion and so crazy and so irrational that I genuinely cannot wrap my head around it. I think it's mad that a person went to extreme lengths to demonstrate what their condition looks like, how it plays out, that they have the version of it that has vocal tics where they involuntarily say things.
I think it's pretty nice that the guy who suffers from Tourette's decided to make a movie about Tourette's to help people understand what people go through with Tourette's. I think that's a good thing of what he did. But now he's getting fucking clowned on because of what he said at BAFTA. I feel bad for the dude. He didn't do anything to bring any of this shit on himself.
Things that they don't
Cis is a bigger slur, in my opinion, than a lot of what people consider actual slurs.
want to say. And with all of that in mind, with all this knowledge on the table, with everybody going, yes, oh, it's so wonderful, they attack this person for having this disability. This is insane behavior. It is beyond lunacy to me that we have all these people
Tourette's, the N-word, and BAFTAs. Two truths at once. Oh boy.
acknowledging that this is a disorder that Davidson can't control, but still demand that he apologize anyway. Meanwhile, these are all the same people who've been lecturing us about the horrors of ableism for decades. Not to mention if people
I'm sorry, but us people who are, live here in reality, who have a logically rational thinking brain and have common sense, know that he does not need to apologize. We understand what he has to deal with. We don't know what he has gone through, but we understand that he has to deal with this thing that he has no control over. So therefore, we know he doesn't need or should apologize. What is funny, in Polish, cis is kind of a tree. Unfortunately, common sense ain't so common anymore. Drop rates shrinked. Yeah.
people activated their brains for half a second and thought about this situation, they'd realize that there is no tangible benefit for Davidson yelling out a slur on national television. I don't believe that people are stupid enough to think that he put himself in this position and thought, yes, actually, you know what? Now is my time to live out my dream of yelling slurs on a global stage. I think the reality here is that with relation to progressives and how they feel about these topics, they act like being disabled is so inspirational and wonderful and what have you, until that disability inconveniences them or makes them uncomfortable.
I think it's really, this goes in line with what she was talking about. It's really distasteful and really disrespectful and dumb that there are people who go out of their way to glorify disabilities. And like she said, until it inconveniences them. And then they go on the attack and attack these people for having said disabilities they just got done fucking glorifying. I don't, it's just... These fucking people, man. It would have been funny if he ripped another one during his apology. I could just imagine the meltdowns. I got sense. Now common sense, unfortunately, it's not so common. So not it's mental gymnastics is an oversaturated sport. I don't think there's any country that does these sort of mental gymnastics better, sadly, than the United States. The people in this country have done it so much that it has now become second nature to them.
And then suddenly the person with the disability is expected to apologize for symptoms and for actions over which they have no control. As John Davidson has had to do here. People were even warned about it, and yet he finds himself having to apologize for a condition that he has because of a movie that he made, which is why he was at this event in the first place.
Involuntary means not chosen, not intentional. But here is what people, especially Black and brown communities, are asking. If the word is involuntary, why is that word in the vocabulary at all? Tourette's does not invent language. It removes the brain's filter. It does not create new words out of thin air.
I love the implication here that Davidson hears this word all the time because he's a giant racist and that's why it came out of his mouth. I'm gonna really need you to...
It picks words that we know. If we know the word, if the person with Tourette's knows the word, or they have heard the word before, chances are it's probably going to get said. So if he knows the N-word or has heard the N-word, chances are his Tourette's is going to make him say the N-word. Chances are slim to none, but the chance is still there. So it happened. Deal with it. Move on and go touch some fucking grass, you dumb retard. So when is mental gymnastics going to be featured in the Olympics? A person in my YouTube chat. You want to fucking say that again? The person that's in between Blast and Nick. Don't you ever fucking come in my chat and say that again. Ever. Let me calm down a second. Hi, Elf. Yeah, Blast, you saw that, right? Give me a second to calm down and I'll let you know. Oh, not a troll. Person needs to get his teeth kicked on his fucking throat multiple times for that fucking username and what he said. Okay. The guy's name was MAP Pride 10. And he decided to say in my chat MAP Pride. Can't believe there's somebody that was allowed to have that kind of fucking name. How YouTube allowed him to have that name is fucking beyond me. I went to look at my chat and instantly my eyes went to his name and what he said. Sorry, I just need to calm down a second. Okay. Alright. Never thought that kind of thing would come into my chat. Ever. These people are disgusting as fuck and need a trip to Pippa's gardening equipment. Yet they treat Celestium like she's the plague. I'll help load them. For whosoever should make these little ones that believe in me stumble, it would be better to put a millstone around their neck and drop them into the ocean. Yeah, I reported them and I blocked them from my chat. On a more lighthearted note, I have been brushing up a bit on Polish. Someone has been very cute to me lately. Cute as in a good way, Kura? Or cute as in they're trying to be cute with you as in being a dick? All right. Sorry about being sorry that that whole thing was interrupted. Emotions got a little much for me there for a minute. She made me a chicken outfit. All right, well, we'll get back to the video here. I lost what I was talking about because of all that. But yeah, I think that was the first time you guys have ever heard me talk like that to somebody or with that sort of tone. So, you know what I sound like when I'm a little mad. Oh, I didn't see anybody talking in my YouTube chat because I think my YouTube chat got frozen for me. So let me catch up on what you guys were saying. We didn't get a message. Now I see it. It's there. Might be filtered. I saw it. I don't know what it means. I'm a dad as well, and I'm very handy with a knife. And well, okay. Yeah, for some reason my YouTube chat froze after I dealt with that, and so I had to reload so now I can see people talking in my YouTube chat again. Yeah, I almost I almost lost a little bit of anger there. So, all right, we're gonna get back to the video. I completely lost track of my train of thought because of that, but let's get back into it. I'm sorry I didn't see any of you guys typing in chat because chat decided to freeze on the side of YouTube. So I'm gonna refresh one more time just to make sure. Okay, it's all good. It's going to be quite the thing to edit out.
To your address, to your social security number, to your email. They try and collect as much information as they can about you. And then they sell it to whoever is willing to pay, including people who want to stalk you and steal your identity. Blech.
I know so much. Are you serious? How is that even legal? Stop writing things down. How do I make her stop?
Depthswalker.
Well, Incogni could help. Incogni helps remove...
What the hell? Thank you for the raid. Welcome everyone from Depthswalker's stream. For those who don't know, I am Griffin Knight. I am the Emperor to the Nerd Empire, and I am a variety streamer. I just messed up where I was on this, apparently. Where was I on here? Okay, I think it was around... I think it was around here, maybe?
And hears this word all the time because he's a giant racist.
Term. It does.
Okay, we were around here. For some reason, it backed me the hell up. So cook fan for Griffin. When you edit it out, can you leave in the desk slam and just never mention it? Probably not. I'm just gonna edit that entire thing out because I don't want it to bring down the video or anything. If people wanna know what happened, they can comment and I'll let them know. I don't even remember slamming my desk. I'll be honest, I sampled that. Might use it in your song. Sampled what? Me slamming my desk that I apparently don't remember doing?
create new words out of thin air.
I love the implication here that Davidson hears
Oh.
this word all the time because he's a giant racist and that's why it came out of his mouth. I'm gonna really need you to get some help. Now, thankfully, some people have been
When I go back through this, I'll make sure to see where the desk slam was, and yeah.
stepping up to actually defend Davidson here, including Black Tourette sufferers. Why is that hard to say? The actor who played him in I Swear weighed in and actually handled this, I think, with a lot of grace, thankfully.
This was obviously very important for Tourette syndrome as well. Tonight, John Davidson was there, and in the broadcast, you could hear him shouting quite a lot, and some words that people will have found offensive. But
yeah.
What would you say about that?
Well, first of all, they're ticks. He's ticking, and we have to understand that the way we perceive Tourette's is a joint responsibility. It's not shouting obscenities. It's not being abusive. It's Tourette's and they're ticks. And so if it can lead to a deeper understanding of Tourette's syndrome and what ticks actually are, then I think if our movie is a part of that conversation, then that's a really incredible thing.
This young woman with Tourette's notes in her video about the situation that Tourette's is a condition where your neurons misfire, and it honestly it sounds horrific. Like having your hands on the steering wheel and it just suddenly wrenches itself out of your hands and turns you in a direction you really don't want to go. The girl explains that racism and tics have nothing to do with each other. It's wholly involuntary and can and has resulted in moments where offensive language has been used.
I am seeing a ton of people saying, oh my god, during Black History Month, Tourette syndrome is not based on a month. Offensive tics are going to happen no matter what shut up a person does. I'm Black. Oh my goodness. And I also have the N-word as a tic. I have other slurs as tics. Does this mean that I use them regularly? Does this mean that I mean them? Does this mean that I can control what I say? No, it does not. That's not how coprolalia works. That is not how Tourette syndrome works. Quite literally the Sweet Anita situation all over again. Shut up. Where she ended up saying the N-word on stream, she got canceled for it, got called racist, etc. We need to do better. I've seen so many people say, that we can control our tics. That's not, if you can control a tic, it's not a tic. Let me explain what a tic is in detail. Shut up, bitch. A tic is when your neurons misfire. You think that you can seriously fucking control a neuron misfiring. I've never seen a
I think maybe sometime in the future we might be able to do something about tics to help people. But for now, we do not have the medical understanding or the technology to really do anything about it. A lot of more research and experimentation has to happen in order for us to understand how to deal with it, how to possibly cure it in the future. But for now, we can't, and people need to understand that this is going to be the way it is until we get to that point in the future. And they're just going to have to deal with it whether they want to hear it or not, because these people literally have no control over it. It's something's messed up with them in the brain that they can't fix. And they're stuck with this and they don't like it, but they have to deal with it and they have to live with it.
human possibly do that.
And she's right. And if you watch enough of these videos of people who have Tourette's commenting on what the condition is and how it presents and what it all means, the tics don't mean anything. They're involuntary. They're happening without your control and consent. And unfortunately, Davidson isn't even the first person with Tourette's who's come under fire and been attacked for dropping a racial slur in a public-esque type setting like this. Sweet Anita, a popular Twitch streamer with Tourette's.
I just watched it back. You didn't. I must have been hearing things. Maybe once we learn to put AI into people's brains, if that'll ever happen, I don't know, maybe. Medicine that does not target the nerves in which the neurons fire, it will not and cannot help. Kudos to this girl for speaking up. Yeah, it's always nice to, when there are other people who actually have this disability, come up to actually help defend the person that is being attacked because of said disability. More people like that need to come up and help and help people understand what this is and that they actually have no control over it. They need to see it actually happening.
Dropped the N-word while streaming, creating a massive cancel mob overnight. As she later said in an interview, articles will be written about the N-word coming out of her mouth, and it completely leaves out the fact that she has Tourette's, which I actually...
There are people who clip it really out of context just so they can get the person canceled or in trouble. People do this because they want to watch the world burn. I hated the abuse people put Sweet Anita through. Yeah. I mean, she seemed like a sweet girl. She was just, you know, doing what she liked doing, and she had Tourette's, and yeah.
Think is super tragic because it's just people trying to drum up a cancel mob and an attack mob for a woman who is saying a word, again, involuntarily, in a culture where this word is actually said a ton in various situations where people aren't offended at all. I know I am steering the hell gondola, but sometimes I would like to get off. Like today. I'm done. Admittedly, because I have a bit of a fascination with Tourette's syndrome, I have watched a ton of interviews over the years of people with the condition discussing it, or doctors discussing it, and one of the things that routinely gets brought up is that vocal tics are often situational. So in this case, with relation to Davidson, people have taken that and said, well,
They see it as free clout to farm. Yeah. Does it seem weird that with a whole vocabulary of words, they tick with a... Well, that's the other thing. It's like completely random as to what word gets picked, and sometimes the word that gets picked is the one that stays. And I think sometimes if it's probably a word that they hear more often around them that ends up getting picked. There is no... Once you climb on this damn ride, you're here forever. Yeah. The only thing that makes it bearable is that it gives us free content. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Another way words like that are used in a tick is if someone else whispers or mutters it, or says if someone writes it in a chatter, fully written or hyphenated. What? What? I'm right here. I didn't disappear into thin air. Hey, Ninja. Farming content isn't a bad thing at times. Yeah.
that means that he's a giant racist because he saw two black men on stage, and what word came to mind for him to shout out but a very racist one, which means that he associates black people with this, which means he's a giant racist. But obviously, if you use your brain, you will realize that this is not the case. And I want you to listen to what another young man with Tourette's has said about these situations.
I mean, why even words? Probably not the best to ask, but now I am curious as why not just total gibberish? I bet there are people who have the verbal Tourette's that just say total gibberish. It wouldn't surprise me. Did the throw a bunch not work? Why didn't it work? I'll try and I'll reload this. Oh, little girl. There we go. Now it's working. I think it depends on the person. A handful of folks I've met with Tourette's, their tics were... How dare you throw stuff at me? Ah, damn it. Just throwing a bunch of stuff at me. Trigger manager? Oh, this thing? Yeah, I can show you sometime. All right, let's get back to the video.
Situational vocal tics and his experience with them.
Describe how it feels, because to resist it is
damn it!
It does hurt. The only way I can describe it is if you want to sneeze.
So much abuse.
And you want to really sneeze.
Yeah.
And somebody says you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to do that here.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to let that sneeze out. That's what it feels like to constantly suppress it. And then people don't get that. I mean,
oh my God.
Yeah,
Jesus
there's still a lot
Christ.
of stigma around it. That's
And you say
horrible.
that what you say, a lot of the vocalizations are observational.
Yeah, they are.
Do you plan on getting 3D model or toggle sphere model in the future? I might get a 3D model in the future. Interesting. Well, it's a Twitch integrated throwing system. TITS. For short.
So, there's like, I'm not racist, but this is one of my big point of views that I want to make across is I will go around town and I almost pulled a lovely lady's hijab off, telling her it's too warm for a scarf. This was in the summer. And that upsets me because I'm not that kind of person.
You can see how horrified and pained this guy is just at the prospect of people thinking he's racist and how embarrassed he is. Like, I have to imagine John Davidson is probably feeling right now. And that this makes me just feel so bad for the guy. And this brings me to the last thing that really underpins my empathy. I know that some of you are absolutely not going to agree with me on this, and that is perfectly fine. You are totally entitled to feel about
you mean this?
and the game. And of course, like any good modern virtue signal, the people doing the virtue signaling in this case are massive hypocrites. Jamie Foxx is no stranger to the word, as he's had it said to his face in many movies, many times, including by white people. Django Unchained is riddled with white people dropping the term. If Jamie Foxx was actually offended by this, you'd think that his head would pop off. But I guess when you're a white guy, right?
Yeah, I can uncross my arms. I can cross my arms. I can... Oh, shit. I forgot. Fly off the screen. I can also do this. You can get rid of that, or I can just have everything off. I can lean. I can lean my head. I can also do that. Hang on, there we go. Arzon, hello. It's just a throwing stream now. Jesus Christ, people. You're constantly bombarded by junk. You people are just having too much fun throwing stuff at me.
On this, and that is perfectly fine. You are totally entitled to feel about these situations and these kind of words however you want. That's totally okay. But I will say that I think the response to the utterance of the N-word is absolutely absurd. And I always have. It is absolutely...
Oh my god! Jesus Christ. You guys are... you guys are having way too much fun with this.